Hello and welcome to Anime Territory. I'll be your host this week, Johnny Ruhal, and I've got my co-host as always, the Benningham Shabbos.
What the heck is that?
Buckingham Palace?
Oh, why didn't you say Big Ben?
Because we have a different friend named Ben who goes by Big Ben.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a lie. I can't just call you Big Ben. You're not Big Ben.
Really? The Buckingham Palace? That's where you went with that?
Yeah, Benningham Shabbos.
Okay.
Shabbos? Palace? Shabbos?
Would it be like the Buckingham?
Nah, Benningham. Look, I wrote this down like 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking to it. Benningham Shabbos.
Okay. That's my name.
Yep. So this week, as opposed to a normal week, we're going to be covering several shows, the first 3 episodes of currently airing shows.
Yep.
We have 8 total we're going to cover. 6 of them that we watched together, 1 that I watched, and I will try to, either convince or sway Ben to either watch or not watch it. And then you've got 1 that you watched as well.
Correct.
We'll do the same. We're kind of trade off describing these shows. No restraint on spoilers, though we will, if there's like a twist or something, we're not going to bring it up. We're not even going to tell you there's a twist because that's a spoiler in and of itself. But we'll, I don't know, we won't worry about spoilers, but we won't necessarily spoil everything in it. So I guess I'll start. The first show that we watched was Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. And I'll be honest, I watched the first 3 episodes of this before deciding that we were going to watch 3 episodes of it.
And I watched the first one.
And you watched the first one with me, but I watched the other 2 by myself. And then we watched...
Yeah.
We didn't rewatch the first episode, right?
No, we didn't. We just went straight to 2.
We had already seen it. I rewatched 2 and 3. So before we get too deep dive into this show, what do you like or don't like about Nagatoro?
I don't know. She's on that cusp of being too mean.
Okay.
I feel like the first episode, I was really worried about that because I feel like the first episode's the worst about that.
I would agree. Yes.
But after the second and third episodes, I think she's more towards the other side. I'm not hating it.
Okay. She's definitely got a sadistic streak. It's a little hard to watch at times. She's toying with him / like teasing him, but some of it's just straight up bullying.
Yeah, there's a difference between like teasing and bullying.
Yeah. Cause like I think it's fairly normal for a relationship to have a little bit of teasing in it.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't know, but yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like, okay, my dad's a goofball.
Mm-hmm.
My brother teases his wife sometimes, but we can tell that it's just like, okay, like, and I'll tease like my siblings and they'll tease me. Sometimes it goes a little far.
Yeah.
And you gotta step back and be like that. But she definitely has sadistic tendencies, but for the most part, and what I've heard before, like, knowing much about this show, because people were talking about it like on Reddit before it was coming out, is that it's supposedly
it's like a popular manga, though,
better.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a popular manga.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of manga shots posted on Reddit, but it gets better. It starts a little heavy on the bullying, but then it's like, okay, hey, there's actual development and there's actual like, okay, there's she's not necessarily a bad person.
I got you,
but she does have that sadistic side, and there are moments when you're like, oh, she's gonna like her eye goes weird, and she's like, all right, she's gonna take this a step further on the sadistic side. But then there's also moments where they're just having fun playing video games.
Yeah. Which was great. That's the best part. Just them playing video games.
There's moments where, like, he's like, oh, this, he realizes that she's cold towards other people. So he's like, okay, she's not like this to everybody. Mm-hmm. She's got, like, a cold, she's still mean to some of those people, but it's not the...
playful mean. It's more like...
it's more of a...
direct.
Yeah, like...
maybe not mean, just like...
cold?
Yeah. Or like... I don't want to think of the word abrupt, but yeah.
Okay, I could see abrupt being there.
I feel like that's not like a noun, though. That's like it's an adverb? I don't know.
Abrupt? No, abrupt is still an adjective.
Okay.
If it's an adverb, it ends in ly.
Oh, yeah.
Except for maybe Very. Very might be the one.
Anyways.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's not a lot you can really spoil about this show per se. It's this shy dude who likes drawing, and he
like drawing / manga, that type of stuff.
Yeah, so he's in the art club. Mm-hmm. We haven't met anybody else in the art club.
He might be the only person in the art club.
Yeah. But he also is drawing his own manga, which is, obviously Nagatoro teases him about that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he gets Nagatoro's attention, and she just has a blast teasing him.
Yeah.
Messing with him, being like, calling him a pervert, and like putting him in situations where it's like, well, I mean, he's a living, breathing person. Of course he's going to be turned on when you do something like that.
Or it's like, draw me like one of your French girls.
Yeah, she doesn't get naked.
No, but it's...
And then she gets mad. It's like, that's not at all what my nether regions look like. Well, they don't look there. It's too embarrassing to look there, type of thing. We meet her friends who are... One of them is kind of goes along with anything.
Yeah.
Finds everything funny. One of them is a source of contention, I would say. Like, they start, like, they butt heads a lot.
Gotcha.
Because, like,
you got two alphas.
Yeah. She calls Nagatoro, like, well, first she calls him her boyfriend, and then as a slave, or a pet.
Yeah.
And then a slave, and then a bug. And that's when Nagatoro's like, she goes cold. She's like, no, I think that's taking it too far. And then they butt heads about it. But what do you think? Are you gonna? Should we keep watching the show together? Should we watch it separately, or should I just watch it?
I think we should watch it together.
Okay.
Again, the last 2 episodes kind of swayed me to.
Yeah, the first one was a little bit rougher.
Yeah,
because it's like it's like this is.
Also, I feel like the guy's just starting to like, not maybe play along, but kind of get into the routine or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So I've done some reading up on this. I hope I haven't spoiled too much for myself, but like part of the reason why she does it, and this is kind of in some of the shows we watch, is like he doesn't fight back. So she's like, there's one episode or one bit where it's like you gotta like get into it. Like if you do it then you can turn it from me teasing you to like a comedy bit. Like
she tries to teach him like the shoulder hit or something.
Yeah, I think that gets lost in translation. That's like a Japanese comedy duo thing, which I know a little bit about. Strangely enough, from the Pokemon Adventures manga.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the Diamond and Pearl section of that manga, the 2 of the main characters want to be a comedy group like that. So I learned a little bit about like what those routines are like.
Okay.
I don't quite get it. Maybe it's a language thing. Comedy is hard to.
Yeah, it's hard to translate.
Yeah. But that's so it's like, hey, this is a way that you can take something that somebody's saying and then just kind of, if you go with it, if you make it your own, then it's you guys joking around and not not that type of thing. So I think part of why she does it is to encourage, like, okay, hey, you can fight back, you practice with me type of thing. Like I'll push you to the point where you can feel comfortable to get mad at me type of thing. Like she doesn't like that he doesn't get mad ever.
Yeah.
But I really want to keep watching it, so I guess I'll keep watching it with you and not watch it as soon as it comes out. Because it comes out on Saturdays. Oh, so a new episode. We're recording this a week and a day early. So the 4th episode just came out. And you work every other Saturday.
Yeah.
So I will
watch it at night.
Yeah, we can watch it at night. It's just sometimes I just want to watch it when I get in the mood. But
sorry.
Okay. So that's the first one that we're talking about, Nagatoro. Anything else you want to say about this one?
The guy's music was trash.
Okay.
And then in episode 3, I just made the comment, what is this, Garden of Words? Because it was raining.
Yeah, because it was raining and they were under an awning. They weren't even under an awning in a park or anything.
That was my bad joke for the episode.
Yeah. And then the guy's music is trash. You're not talking about our main character.
No.
His name is Naoto, but it's been said once, maybe.
Yeah, I think I just called him Perv.
Well, everyone actually calls him something different, but Nagatoro calls him Senpai.
Okay.
We haven't, because I've seen like some of his friends call him this, and it's like, okay, well, we haven't met those characters. Yeah, so don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. That's a recommend for both of us. We're going to keep watching it, at least based off of the first 3 episodes.
Yep.
So you go ahead and talk about in our next show, Farewell, My Dear Cramer.
All right. So Farewell, My Dear Cramer is a soccer sport anime. So it's definitely...
Correction. It is a women's soccer.
Sorry. It is a girls' soccer anime. So basically, as we said, it's about girls' soccer.
Which, the only reason we keep bringing that up
is because they keep bringing it.
Yeah, they keep referring it to specifically as girls soccer. It's like, you can just say soccer.
Yeah.
There's one scene at the beginning that really irked me off.
Very start of the first 3 minutes of the series.
Yeah. It's like one of the main characters at the end of middle school or whatever, talking to her coach, he's like, I hope to go to a high school where the boys team will let me join in and play with them. Yeah. And the coach is just like, nah, if you do that, you're gonna get outclassed. You need to find a girls' soccer team. And it's like, all right, first of all, piss off.
Okay. Well, he kind of has a point in that, and probably in like Japanese cultures, they're not gonna have co-ed soccer teams. I've watched. So he's like, I don't want you to waste your talent not playing. Not actually doing anything. I want you to actually play so that people can see your talent.
It's just
It's just one translation, and two, it just might be kind of like the culture of it.
Yeah. It's just like just the whole thing's like, this is supposed to be an inspiring speech, but I'm just mad at this dude for saying she can't compete.
Well, also we have an outlier when we played soccer, and that one of our best players was a girl.
Yes. Yeah. We had 2 girls on our team. One of them was better than both of us, I would say. Yeah. And the other one was one of our better players. Yeah.
So yeah. But again, it's kind of I would say, not a translation thing, but kind of more of a cultural thing. Yeah. They wouldn't have they don't have co-ed soccer.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, I've watched another anime about soccer way back in middle school. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about a middle school soccer team, and like their manager was a girl, and she played on the team once, and it was like a whole thing where they're like, oh, everyone on the opposing team won't get close to that person because they're afraid of hurting a girl or something, and it's like,
I've heard a lot of girls in soccer.
All right, yeah,
at least one.
At least one. Do you feel bad about that at all?
Oh, I felt really bad. Because it wasn't just me, it was 2 of us. 2 guys just and sandwiching this girl.
Okay, well...
She was like 4 foot, we're both 6 foot. Oh, it was bad.
What else do you want to say about the show? I kind of interrupted you with my anti-sexism.
Sorry, but basically, we follow a bunch of girls, mainly I think 3 of them.
Yes, I would say
so. They're all like really talented, but 2 of them play for crappy teams, so they don't have a lot of recognition. Another one's like this top player, but she decides to go wherever this one no-name girl goes, and she picks this really bad, I guess, soccer school that instead of like the top flight schools.
Yeah.
But anyways, they join the same team. There's no chemistry yet, so they're not very good. Also, everybody else on the team isn't very good.
They've only had 1 real match.
Yeah.
And they played the best
team in like the country.
Yeah. They lost 21 to 1.
I think it was like 22 to 1 or something.
I don't know if we ever actually saw the final score. I think that's going to be in the
They were talking about like the 20s. It was over 10.
Yeah. It was and then like they scored 1 goal towards the end of the second half. So we're fairly for sure it's like okay.
But a famous former player becomes a coach because that's where she went to school. She wants to be a coach. And then it's mainly just them playing soccer. There is a lot of good like soccer terminology and kind of strategies to it.
Yeah.
The only issue is all of that is done during a game, so it kind of breaks the logic of them playing because it's just like, oh, this is what they're doing, and they spend 2 minutes describing it when they're just like, wait, aren't they playing a game right now?
Well, that's
why are they monologuing?
You're not super familiar with sports anime.
No, I'm not.
That's how they fill time and don't have to animate a full soccer game.
That's true. It's just like really annoying because they're just like talking about all of this strategy and like, oh, she's great because she does this, and it's just like, wait, we've been doing this for 2 minutes. Are you guys playing or not?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay.
But yeah, that's kind of it's a pretty basic plot right now. It's just girls playing girl soccer. Yeah. We're gonna bring up the fence animation.
Okay, yeah, we have to talk about this. This is something that both of us we brought it up. One of us brought it up.
I'm not a fan of all the animation style in general either.
Yeah, it grew on me a little bit, but the facial designs are a little off. Mm-hmm. And then there's one animation thing that one of us brought it up. I don't even remember which one of us. But as soon as we said it, then I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. I noticed it too. That there'll be like characters standing behind a fence watching the game, and they'll just remove the part of the fence that's in front of their face. So it's like there's no fence there. It's just a perfect hole. So their face is like, no, please don't. That's not how fences work.
That's not how fences work.
Like, I get it might be a shortcut to animation, but it's just, it was so jarring. It's like, why is that there? Mm-hmm. Or maybe not jarring might not be the right word, but like, it's one of those things that's like unsettling, and then you realize what it is. Like, why does this look weird? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's because their faces aren't behind a fence, but the rest of their body is.
Yeah. It's like, just don't put the fence there.
Just don't have a fence there.
But
or make the fence shorter.
That's true. Like our fences.
Yeah.
We didn't have this 20-foot.
Yeah, fence. we could jump over the fence.
Some of us.
Yeah. So should we bring?
No.
Come on.
No.
I want to talk about it.
No.
All right. Okay. So
impressions for the show. I was kind of disappointed in it. I don't know. The animation style. I don't feel like I really cared about any of the characters. Some of the soccer stuff was good, but it's just, I don't know, it kind of felt flat to me. I
would say I would cue this show.
Yeah, I would too.
Maybe watch it when it's all out. Mm-hmm. Maybe it gets better. I mean, it's... I'm
going to give it the benefit of the doubt just because it's about soccer, but I would cue it.
Okay. All right. Yep. So we'll cue that one. We're going to keep watching Nagatoro, cueing Farewell, My Dear Cramer. That means it's time for me to talk about another show we watched. Oof. Dragon Goes Househunting.
Dragon Goes Househunting.
Now, I don't know exactly what I expected from this show. I guess I expected what we got, but I was hoping it would be better. This is a story about a wimpy-ass dragon who gets kicked out of his house because he fell asleep guarding the egg.
Yeah.
And then he's got to go find a home. He runs into a demon lord whose specialty is finding monsters' homes. And it's just him going to different, like, oh, we're going to go to this. What was the first place they went? It wasn't...
It was like some almost temple-like thing. It wasn't.
Oh, that's right. They went to Temple of the Falls or something. Yeah. And it was like a dungeon with a bunch of pit traps where they kept falling. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay... This is not the home for me. It's too stressful. I keep falling for these traps, type of thing. Mm-hmm. The second one they went to was a haunted mansion, and it's like, and you should have just stayed at that damn haunted mansion.
Yeah, the dude is cool.
Yeah, I mean, sure, the ghost spooked you, but then they're like, I mean, it was just a welcome prank. Yeah. You know, we'll be buds. We can hang out. And the dragon's like, nope, I'm too scared to stay here. And then they build him a house on top of a cliff, and they hire him some bodyguards.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of adventurers show up, because that's how he's going to pay off the house, because he doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
We're going to lure travelers here and then take all their shit.
Yeah. And then a bunch of other monsters show up, saying like, hey, we want to stay here too. We heard you ran off some people, so it must be safe here. and then it's just eventually gets too noisy, and it gets featured in a magazine as one of the best dungeons. He's like, I can't live here. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And it's just the dragon character is just so.
He's just so bad. He's so annoying and whiny. It's just like, oh my god, I would just wish somebody would slay you.
Please kill this dragon.
Put him out of his own misery. Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, we talk about what we wanted.
I'd rather watch
to be.
regular House Hunters.
Yeah,
that's more compelling than this show.
We wanted basically fantasy. What we wanted was fantasy House Hunters, where it's just a different thing, and it's like this couple. This guy is this woman is a tailor, and this guy is a low-level adventurer. Their budget, 4 billion gold.
She's a stay-at-home mom, and he's a beekeeper. Their budget's $1 million.
That might have been more amusing. Who knows? It might have been bad, but this show is definitely a drop.
Yeah, this show is garbage.
We're gonna throw this show in the Temple of Falls because we're gonna drop it and not pick it back up. Yeah. So, do you want to talk about another show we watched called 86?
All right, 86. So, in 86, it's kind of a futuristic setting. This kingdom, or is it republic, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this republic is in a fight with an empire, and their war is fought with drones. So, no humans.
Quote-unquote drones.
Yes. So then you follow this character named Lena. She's a captain of the
captain
for the war. She kind of like runs a battalion of these drones and such.
Remotely, we should say. She's nowhere near the battlefield.
Yeah. So the first episode is just kind of describing the world, what's going on and everything. And then in the very first episode, we are told that there are humans in the drones. So there are casualties, because they keep saying there's no casualties, but there's humans in these drones and they're dying.
Yeah. So basically what they did is they changed the definition of human to be anyone with
white hair and like
certain color
yellow
eyes
or something.
Yeah. So it's like anything that's not that specific type of human is a pig.
Yeah.
Is an advanced pig. They weren't advanced enough to evolve into the current stage.
They are no longer considered humans.
Yeah.
So they live on the outskirts of this district, and they are forced to basically fight in these wars. Yes. We also learn that the people they're fighting were taken over by like AI, so they're not even fighting the Empire. That's what they say.
They're like, this war is only going to last for 2 more years because we've theorized that these
AI drones
they
only
actually
run for so long.
Yeah, they can only run for so long, and they killed off the actual population a while ago. So it's only going to run for 2 years. No confirmation if that's true. They've lied. The government's lied about other things, so I have a feeling that they're going to be lying about something else too. We should note that our main character Lena is
sympathetic.
She's always nice to the people that she commands,
and she does consider the people humans.
Yeah, she does consider the people humans. There's one part where she like tries to explain to a class of new recruits that no, these are people. Just because the law says they're not people doesn't mean they're not people. These are not drones. There are casualties. Yeah. You're playing with human lives.
And then we're also introduced to like her battalion, which are like the regular people who are fighting in the war. We got a lot of just moments with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like
bonding, just how they live.
There's a few battle scenes, a few people lost. But we should note that she's new to commanding that regiment. Every previous commander for them has either resigned or one of them committed suicide.
Yes.
So they're like, we're going to assign you to this. Nobody lasts long commanding them. It's a very, very tense show.
Yes. I had some problems with the show, but I think as a whole it is very intriguing. Yes. I think it's very beautiful. That fight scene in the city I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
But again, I don't know. There were some issues I had with it.
I like some of the characters. I feel bad for our main character because she's basically treated as a hypocrite. It's like why are you being nice to us? You don't actually care. If you cared, you would treat us like people. You wouldn't have us out here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't think they realize that it's not a lot she can do.
Yeah.
And she is trying to do things, but obviously you can't virtue signal like no, I am doing that because you know she's got white guilt. Like, yeah,
basically.
So it's, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I feel bad about what my people have done to you, and she's trying, but there's not a lot she can really do. And it's just kind of peeves them off that she's nice when, I mean, I guess at the very least, if the person that is your commander is a terrible person, you can stomach that because you're like, okay, it's just another terrible person, and we've dealt with those before.
So you're saying that they're mad at her because she's trying to be nice? Yeah,
they're like, stop with the act. You're not.
Okay.
You're still a terrible person. You know,
don't pretend like you're for or like trying to help us or something.
Yeah, they're basically just calling her. I think they literally. Yeah. Well, the translation used the word hypocrite. And obviously, it was in Japanese, but there are some things I don't like. They revisit scenes from different perspectives. So like, there's like a phone conversation that she had.
Yeah, there was that really weird one.
And then it was like, oh, and then there's some weird cuts, and it's like, I'm never quite for sure. They flashed some dates on the screen. I'm like, I didn't pay attention to the last date. Is this in the past or is this in the future? I don't know. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is this scene, but from her perspective. And then it has like some weird cuts in it. Yeah. And it's like, okay. It took me a second to be like, what was that weird cut to the same room? It's like, oh, time has passed. Yeah. So moving on to a different part of the conversation. So like, I didn't really like that. It felt like it was trying to be, I don't know.
Too cute or something.
You say cute?
Yeah, too cute. It's like, oh, let's do this weird editing trick.
I don't think cute's the right word. They were trying to
clever?
Be like, yeah, they're trying to be too clever. Like, look at our masterpiece of filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, it's
like when a movie director tries too hard.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, you're not Christopher Nolan. You can calm it down a bit. But yeah, no, it was good. I definitely want to keep watching it.
I do too.
I think I want to cue it. I think I want to watch it when it's all out.
I can see that. I think it might be better if you binge it.
Yeah, because it's gonna be there's gonna be too many cliffhangers for my sanity to deal with. It's gonna be very tense, and if I can't move on to the next episode and move on to see the resolution, I'm gonna get antsy waiting a week type of thing. So I would recommend it, but I would recommend watching it as a binge.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
So the next one is... What is the next one?
The next one is me. I'm describing it. Odd Taxi.
Oh, yeah. I don't have Odd Taxi written down, so I forgot.
So this one is a strange one.
Well, it's odd.
Yes, it's odd. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. So let's move into a segment what I thought the show was going to be. What did you think the show was going to be?
I thought it was going to be more of like a episodic or a show where it's like people just go into this taxi and then they like talk about maybe like strange situations they're in, or just like almost venting to this taxi driver about things. So you like meet just a bunch of weird casted people with the premise just being this, they're all in this guy's taxi.
Yeah. I thought this show was going to be normal people get into this taxi and then they're like taking on a weird adventure, but also be like episodic. Like, we encountered this strange fae creature that took us to this weird, part of Tokyo or whatever.
That's what you thought the show was going to be?
I thought it was, like, I don't know. I read half a description somewhere and I got it in my brain that this is going to be, they get into this taxi and then weird stuff starts happening.
So it's like Narnia, except it's a taxi?
Or more like the Boy and the Beast when he follows those dudes and all of a sudden he's in like the Beast Land and it's like, what type of district is this? Why are there pig people selling things, wearing monk robes? I don't know. But that's what I thought the show was going to be. What it actually is like a tense
crime mystery.
Yeah, crime mystery centered around this taxi driver.
Yeah.
Like, there's corrupt cops. There's a Yakuza monkey that...
Yakuza-like.
Yeah.
They didn't... He said
I think he's Yakuza.
he didn't say Yakuza. He said Yakuza-like.
Okay. But it's like, okay, there's a missing girl, and there might be some links to the taxi driver.
Yeah.
Like, because he talked to somebody in his apartment and is like, I'm not holding you hostage. You can escape anytime you want. You're free to leave. You're not tied up or anything. And he's like, but we don't see anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But then the police are like, we heard that she got into your taxi. Let me get your dash cam footage. But that was revealed to actually be something related to, they were going to use it as like leverage against him or something, because they gave the footage
like a blackmail.
Yeah, the cop gave the footage to the
suspect.
Yeah, to the suspect or whatever to hold over him. And then there's also like
revealed that like I think the crime boss's daughter is the one who's missing.
Yeah, or somebody who knows, or like a rival crime boss or something. And it's like, okay. And then there's a whole like other thing going on where he regularly goes to this clinic for checkups.
Yeah.
And and there's drugs missing from that. And it's like, okay, well, who's taking that? And then one of the nurses from there is like trying to get buddy with this 40-year-old taxi driver.
We don't know how old he is.
He said he was 41.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
When?
Or like him and one of the other guys were talking at the bar. He was like, they were 41 or something. He's in like his 40s or close to it.
Ah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Now, we should note that this whole show, all these people are like talking anthropomorphic animals.
So the taxi driver's a walrus.
Yeah.
His friend's a monkey.
Yep. The Yakuza, different type of monkey.
Different type of monkey.
There's like a pop star who's, she like a rabbit? And then
she's like a cat.
Well, the two side people are cats.
I thought they were all cats. I don't know.
I don't remember, but they're all anthropomorphic animals, and I think it's hinted that they're not actually anthropomorphic animals. The taxi driver just has some weird psychological condition where he sees people as animals. Well, when he's talking in the clinic, he asks the doctor, or the doctor asks him, what do you see me as right now? And he's like, a gorilla. And the doctor is like, haha, well, I guess you're not wrong. And then there's another part where the nurse that's kind of supposedly into him, and I'm like, there's something weird going on with this nurse, because she's 28, so she's quite a bit younger than him. Why is she interested in this? And she's like, oh, you recognized me when she got in his taxi. And he's like, well, you're the only alpaca around here. And then she just laughs like, oh, that's a quaint thing to say. So it's like, okay, like she would know if she was the only alpaca around here, right? That's something that, like, she would notice that there's not a lot of alpacas around if she was an alpaca person, if alpaca people were real.
I don't know.
But it's like, okay, that's my theory. There's also like some times where it's mentioned he was in a car accident when he was really young. And he survived, and it gives you brief glimpses of that, and you can't really tell anything, but it looked like it was.
There was one incident where it very much looked like a human.
I think there was 2 instances, but you just missed the first one. But, maybe it was very brief, so it's like
I caught one of them.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I think he's just had like a traumatic event, and his brain just copes by making people anthropomorphic animals. Yeah.
And he does have trouble sleeping.
Yeah,
he's taking some type of medicine.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of. I've only seen this movie once, but it reminds me of Taxi Driver. Okay. Because like, is it Robert De Niro in that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't sleep, so he becomes a taxi driver, and he becomes like, he's like plans this crime to like.
I think it was a
kill this person running for office. Yeah. And it's like, he doesn't go through with it, I don't think. I don't actually remember how that movie ends. But it's just like a weird... The word I wrote down for this show is ominous.
Ominous. I thought you were going to say odd.
No, it's also a little silly.
A little bit.
There's like a scene where he's talking to the alpaca lady. It's like, you should really not hang around me, because there's this Yakuza person who mentioned you and threatened you to me if I don't do what he wants me to do. and it's like, she's like, well, I took capoeira. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. And then she shows like a capoeira kick, and like some like Brazilian dance music starts playing as she does the kick, only for that like 3 seconds. And it's like, wait, what? So that
was funny because he's like, why did you take capybara or whatever it's called? Capoeira. She's like, yeah, to lose weight. And it's like, oh, so it's not martial arts.
It's like, so you've got a half-ass martial arts. If you took it to lose weight, even if capoeira is a real serious martial arts, your knowledge of it is probably half-ass because you took it to lose. Like your motivation wasn't in the right place or whatever. Very, very interesting show.
Yes.
I want to keep watching it. I don't know if I want to watch it week to week or if I want to binge it.
I think in this case, I just want to watch it week to week.
Okay. There's more episodes out that we need to watch, so we'll probably just watch that later.
So it's not tense, I don't think. I think it's just more, like you said, ominous.
Yeah, it's more ominous, which, I don't know. I like and don't like. It makes me feel like, something bad's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to like it, the character that it happens to, or it's like this character is going to turn out to be a bad person, and then I'm gonna feel bad, and I'm gonna think like, oh yeah, that's right, real people are like this, and then I'm gonna start having existential dread. I'm gonna spiral and think about her trying to sleep, and it's gonna be like a whole.
I had that watching Dragon Ghost Househunting.
Existential dread.
My God, where did my life come to where I have to watch this show?
That was a show where, like, thank God we watched 3 episodes of that and we're done.
Like, thank God we're doing a rule of 3 for this episode.
Sometimes we finish a rule of 3 and I'm like, I want to watch more. And sometimes we finish it and I'm like, or we're like 1.5 episodes like damn, we're still only on the 2nd episode? Come on.
So going into that, we want to go to our next show.
Yes, you're going to be describing the show Burning Kabaddi.
Yeah.
And you should probably talk about our quote-unquote history with Kabaddi.
Our history with Kabaddi is when we were in college, the last 2 years we were roommates.
Yep, and we had other roommates. It was like a 6-person on campus.
But anyways, we had TV, so we just, one day, I wasn't doing anything, so I just was flipping through channels. And I think on the Fox Sports Network, they were showing this sport I had never seen called Kabaddi.
Was it like April Fool's Day or something? They were showing weird stuff.
That was a different instance where I think ESPN did it. This was not April Fool's, I don't think.
Okay.
This was like a legit showing of Kabaddi.
It's a slow news day, so we're going to show Kabaddi.
Mm-hmm. So that's my first instance with Kabaddi. And then I think
I was there for
on
part of it.
On a second instance, I think that's when everybody else was there. I think at one point I was the only one watching it, and then everybody, all of our, well, not all of our roommates, but most of us.
Yeah. And it was
watched in and started watching Kabaddi, which if you don't know what Kabaddi is, join the club, because I'm not exactly 100% sure what Kabaddi is either. But it's essentially
cackle tag.
Yeah, basically. It's competitive tag with, like they say, close combat sports mixed in. Yeah.
So if you watch the show, they do a pretty good job
They do a pretty good job. Again, they kind of tell you that, hey, there's more rules to this, but we know the basics.
This is what you need to know. The logistics will come later, type of thing.
So yeah, they do a good job of kind of explaining what Kabaddi is. But in terms of the show is centered around this one dude, the main character, who's this fantastic soccer player. He's like one of the best players in the world, I guess. Yeah. Or not world, but
there was like magazines like what high school is this middle school star going to go to?
Mm-hmm. And he quits it. He quits sports because he hates it, because basically nobody likes him and he doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So he quits sports, says he's never playing any sports or joining any teams, and he's going to basically become a vlogger, I guess.
Yeah, live streamer. We don't really see him like play games or anything, but we do see him like, we see him start when it's like, hey, we're just going to do live chatting today. Yeah. So
he's going to start that, but then he gets interrupted by first a soccer team trying to convince him to join, and then after they leave, and he basically threatens them to leave, Krillin.
Krillin.
comes and basically forces him to come to Kabaddi practice so that they can try to convince him to join. So he does that. He learns kind of the basics, watches them play Kabaddi. He's like, this is stupid, but I mean, it looks pretty easy, so I can do it.
Yeah.
So he joins in, does a little bit of stuff.
Well, they blackmail him into taking a bet. So they're like,
kind of, yeah.
We have this.
I was getting to that.
He doesn't want his public identity known to his live streaming audience.
Oh yeah,
so he wears a mask when he's live streaming and stuff. But the co-captain or the vice captain of the team is like, oh, we've got I've recorded all your live streams.
If all the people in the school knew about your live streams and your identity.
So so let's make a deal. If you win a match against Krillin here, which his name's not really Krillin, but he's a short, bald, strong dude.
He looks exactly like One Punch Man and Krillin, I guess.
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that One Punch Man looks like Krillin. Okay. So it's just this is the OG.
Okay.
OG, anyways. Bald, short, strong.
Yeah.
Saitama's not short. This dude is little.
This dude's short, but he looks like Saitama.
Okay. It's because he's bald.
Yeah. Yeah, his face looks like it too to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
so we're gonna be arguing about whether that guy's Saitama or Krillin for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So let's just move on for now.
Okay.
Like, if you can beat this guy, which in some of the drills and exercises they've been doing, he's been faster and it's like, okay, yeah, if you can beat him, not only will we erase the footage, but we will
give
I'll boost your live stream, and I've done it for other people before. You can become a bigger star there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then but if you lose, you have to join the team.
Yeah. So
he takes him on in the bet. He loses.
Yep.
And then they delete the footage anyway.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, show up to practice tomorrow.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I can't break this promise. I made a bet. I got.
Yeah, he's nothing.
Responsible. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, he's
standards.
Duty bound to do it.
Duties. Yeah.
So he's like, okay, that's And then he starts to get miffed that he can't win.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, so I guess I'll try this teamwork thing. He's like, at first, the best defensive stance is to hold your partner's hand with one of yours so that you're connected.
I don't touch people.
He's like, I'm not going to touch this dude. And they finally are like, okay, if it means winning, I'll try this teamwork thing out. So he gets into it, and he's like, oh, this is what being a part of a team is like. Because he's always been used to being so much better than his teammates that he's frustrated that they're not passing to him.
Yeah.
Or not when he passes, they're not where they're supposed to be. So
I think my favorite part was just maybe I wasn't liking sports because they didn't have any friends.
It's like, is that why did I say I hate sports and not I hate soccer? And it's like, oh, it's because my teammates were shit.
And I was shit to my teammates.
Yeah. So, I don't want to put all the blame on his teammates, but, so he's like, okay, so he's into it now.
Mm-hmm.
I will be honest, this is supposed to be a rule of 3, but we watched all 4 episodes.
We watched 4 episodes. We cheated.
I think there's a 5th episode out, so we should definitely watch that.
Yeah, so this is a watch. This show's great.
Yeah, it's just hype as hell. I don't typically like sports anime too much. I say that, but I like Chihaya Furu and Fastest Finger First, which are not real sports. No. They're competition things, but they're not physical activities.
I like sports, but I don't like sports anime. But this one,
you haven't tried.
That's true.
You've tried Chihaya Furu.
I did. I liked it. I dropped it though. I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, it's real good. I think once you really get into it, you'll power through it.
Yeah.
But side recommendation: watch Chihaya Furu. But Burning Kabaddi, it's hype. We're gonna keep
it's great.
It.
I mean, do you want to go over casting?
Okay, yeah. So we started fan casting a live action
because we were so hyped for it.
Yeah.
So as of now, our main guy is going to be played by Chris Evans.
Yep.
Saitama is going to be played by Jeremy Dooley, who is...
He's a short, bald,
muscular
muscular dude from Achievement Hunter.
Yes. people we watch. Yeah.
Check out Achievement Hunter. Yeah. They're not anime related whatsoever. No. Sometimes they bring it up, but
we got Perm Guy is going to be played by Andy Samberg.
Yep. So there's a guy, an upperclassman. They're all. We should say all of them, but the captain are pretty buff dudes.
Oh yeah, they're buff.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, who's a guy with a mop of hair that we could bulk up a little bit?
If you want to see buff dudes touching each other, watch this show.
It's just dudes touching dudes.
It's just dudes touching dudes. Dudes tackling dudes.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's great.
Anyway. We were going to say, like, who are we going to say?
I think we had Michael Cera there.
We had Michael Cera down just for the mop of hair, but we're like, we could buff up Michael Cera, right? Yeah. And then eventually I'm like, okay, we could actually probably buff up Andy Samberg if we wanted to.
So Muscles Guy is Tom Hardy.
Yep. So he's not short, but he's shorter than the main character and the Perm Guy, and he's just he's the
jacked.
bulkier. Yeah, he's the bulkier of the dude.
Yeah.
So he's like I think they saw like his physical, and it's like he's like half a pound, not pound, but half a measurement under the maximum weight you can be for the sport.
It's just all muscle.
Yeah. He used to be a baseball player. And now he's a muscle freak Kabaddi player. Yeah. So,
the co-captain, who I call Glasses, is being played by Jason Schwartzman.
Yep. Just because we're like, Jason Schwartzman's he can get the right length of hair. He's got the smug glasses look down.
The guy basically reminds you of Gideon from Scott Pilgrim, I think.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the look at least of that character. Yeah. I think
he's got the little bit of his. What's the word for maniacal? He's got a little bit of a maniacal look to him. So let's just do it. I just like Jason Schwartzman, so let's do it.
And then for the captain who are introduced to in
episode
4.
Yes. Okay. But we decided on his casting because he shows up in the intro.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, he's very scrawny though.
Yes.
He's not muscular. He is scrawny.
He's physically weak.
Yes.
You don't see him in the first 3 episodes because he's in the hospital.
Yes. He is physically weak, but he's like so sneaky that he's great at tagging people, basically.
Yeah, they can't predict his movements.
We originally went with Elijah Wood because he kind of looked like him, I thought.
Yeah. This was based off of what we saw in the intro.
But once introduced to him, we decided for Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, we are going with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes, I decided. We're going with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay. I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal might be a little bit too muscular.
He might be too handsome.
I have this thing with Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know if he's handsome or not. I cannot tell.
The answer is yes.
It's like, am I attracted to Jake Gyllenhaal? Maybe. It's just like, I can't quite nail it down. Sometimes he looks weird. Sometimes he looks handsome. And I can't do it.
That's called being an actor.
I guess he's doing his job
right. But yeah, that's Burning Kabaddi. Go watch it. It's great.
It's hype. We texted one of our former college roommates. It's like, hey, there's a Kabaddi anime. Here's my Crunchyroll info. Go watch it. He's like, this is real shit? You talking real shit right now? You're not joshing me, right? This is real. So Burning Kabaddi is something. Yep. I would wholeheartedly recommend it. It's
my top one so far.
It's your top of the ones we've talked about or the ones we've watched?
The ones we've watched. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we haven't talked about. Oh, I guess this is on to the ones where you haven't seen the one that I'm about to talk about, and I haven't seen the one that you're about to talk about.
Yeah. So the ones we watched, that one's the top.
Okay. So I would say I like Nagatoro better, but that's just my. This is my trash opinions coming in. But Burning Kabaddi is hype.
Yeah.
It's some hype shit. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about... You've not seen this show. So I'm going to be pitching you watching this show.
All right.
It's called Osamake, RomCom where the childhood friend won't lose. Now, with that title, what do you think the show is about?
It's a harem.
Okay. That's it? That's your only...
Yeah, it's a harem.
Okay. You don't have any other, like... Okay.
It's a harem. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, so I was going to say, before watching it, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a harem show where it ends up that all the girls are childhood friends.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to get out of you. I didn't know if
gotcha.
you thought that or not.
No, it's a harem where...
Okay. You're like, it's a harem, and they told me who's going to win.
And I'm going to like it.
But it's going to be... No,
I mean, they're going to love it because she's the best girl, or I'm going to hate it because she's the worst girl.
Yeah. So, no, what they do is they're like, okay, this is going to be... I was like, okay, the twist here is that they're all going to end up being childhood friends, so you don't actually know who's going to win. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice they don't actually say who's going to win. They just say that they're not going to lose.
Oh, okay. I'm in already.
I don't know what that means, but that's something that somebody on Reddit pointed out in an episode discussion.
All right, like, I'm in.
That's intriguing. So the first 3 episodes, I liken it to the first 3 episodes of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, which are phenomenal. That is like a perfect rule of 3. You watch those 3 episodes, and it's like you watched a movie. Yeah. And it's got a satisfying conclusion, but you want to see what's going to happen with the characters next type of thing. I would say that this happens, a slightly less satisfying conclusion, but they do something that is just like towards the end, I'm like, are they going to do this? They're going to do this, right? And then they did it. And I'm like, hell yeah. I would have been happy with the other outcome, but hell yeah. So it also has one of our favorite bits. I don't know if we've talked about this bit on the podcast, but we'll be watching something, and a character will say something that like is like, wait, did they just say that they were going to steal the Declaration of Independence? Like, they'll say something that should clearly be, like, a secret or kept private, and it's just, like, they just say it at a normal speaking voice when there are people around.
Like, in a crowd.
Yeah.
And there... Did you say that?
There are a couple of instances early on in this show where, well, like, for example, the main character is talking to his friend, and his friend is like, you know, hey, you know that girl you like is totally out of your league. You should just ask out this other girl who's also totally out of your league but seems to like you, your childhood friend. And he's like, well, I mean, it's true that she's, you know, like a kind person and she's cute and all that. And then she just walks up and is like, oh, he's saying I'm cute, eh? But why? And then she just says, but why did you reject me whenever I asked you out? And it's like, okay. So first of all, one instance of, hey, he just said something embarrassing out loud, and she totally heard him. And then that instance was overheard by the girl he does like. So, and it's just like, and then it's brought up that, like, the girl he does like was talking to her friend, and she's just like, oh, wait, so you decided to say yes and go out with this friend of yours? And it's like, okay. So, like, we learned that it was her responding to hearing that the childhood friend had asked him out. But it's basically just those 2 girls, the girl he likes and the childhood friend who likes him in the first 3 episodes. Okay. They basically, he becomes discouraged. He's talking to his childhood friend, and she's like, "Do you want to get revenge on them?"
What?
And so he's like she broke your heart. She was your first love, and I want to be close to you. Let's pretend that we're dating to make her jealous. And the plus side of hopefully this pretending dating means I get to spend time with you. And if it turns into real dating, it's like she's just very straightforward about it.
It's like every teen comedy drama type of show.
Yeah. The thing is, they're just like, they're very like, they clear up misunderstandings super quick.
Oh, okay.
So, and this main childhood friend that we know of as the childhood friend so far, because we don't know the other girl is a childhood friend yet. She's just very forward. It's like, but at the same time, like a little shy about when it gets too far type of thing. And it's just like, she's great. Top tier. And she's got short hair.
I'm in. You sold me. You should have just started with that.
And she's got 3 sisters. 3 younger sisters. One of which is taller than her. But, whatever.
My younger brother's taller than me.
Yeah, it's true.
By a lot.
So it's like, okay, she's great, first of all. You're going to love this character. Okay. I can just tell. Okay. And I like the other girl, too, just maybe not as much. They decide that the The girl that the main character's first love with, she is like an author. She published a book that he really likes, and that's kind of why he likes her. He's like, okay. I love this book.
What's the deal with Japanese people having a bunch of like teenage authors?
I don't know.
How the heck do they get published? They're like 16.
That's part of the gimmick, I think. Like, look at this 16-year-old author. I mean, I read the Aragon books in grade school or whenever they came out, and that guy was 15 when he wrote the first one, 19 when it was published. But
okay.
But it happens.
Okay.
She also didn't go to school for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
it's like Whisper of the Heart if she just decided to be an author.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna dig up dirt on this guy that she said she's gonna start dating. And everything he finds now this guy's great. he's like a childhood teenage actor. So he's already really popular.
Okay.
And then
those types.
Yeah. Then that character confronts him on the roof, and he's like, I hear you've been asking around trying to find out dirt about me. It's like, good luck.
Here's my dirt.
I'm gonna steal this girl you like from you. It's just gonna be mine type of thing. So he comes off as kind of a dirtbag, but
okay.
There's more about him.
I mean, I'm a dirtbag.
Yeah. We also learned that the main character used to be a childhood actor.
Ooh.
And the guy that he was dating was like, "You're the reason I got into acting, and I'm gonna demolish you," type of thing. Their school festival is coming up, so
school festival.
Yeah, starts with the school festival.
Interesting.
And there's a thing they have at their school festival called the confession contest or something. You go up on stage and you confess your love, and I guess it's a contest somehow.
For what?
To the school. I don't know.
What are they judging?
I don't know. I think it's just a thing where it's like, hey,
cringiest confession, or
yeah, I guess. But they're like, he's this actor dude who also does singing and dancing. He's gonna I'm gonna be at that. I'm gonna make my big move there to the whole school. You're gonna be embarrassed. I'm gonna steal your girl at that point, even though she already said she was dating me. This is gonna be our debut.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So he's talking to his friend, who women at the school do not like because he's got a reputation. And apparently his friend is stringing along 7 different girls from different schools.
Nice.
So it's like, okay, this guy's kind of a scumbag.
This guy sounds like the boss.
Yeah. So he's like, I want to show off. He's like, you said you want to do a play for the cultural festival, right? It's like, I'll be in it. I want to beat him in his game acting. I know I've been out of the program, but I am going to, I'm going to do it. I'm going to act in your play.
Steal the show.
Steal the spotlight from him.
Yeah.
And then take that as my advantage, that if my confession is better, she'll have to give in to peer pressure and go with me, type of thing. And then
I'm not feel about this show. I'm like, this sounds great, but it's like, wait, this guy sounds like a dick.
So they start planning this, and they're like, okay, if we're gonna your acting is fine, but we need a dynamite script. So let's get the girl.
This is 3 episodes?
Yeah. This is
you sure you didn't watch the whole season?
Yeah, this is only 3 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna need a dynamite script.
Are the episodes 2 hours?
No, they're normal 23-minute episodes. And some of this stuff is happening intermixed. I'm giving you different edges.
Okay.
So let's get the girl, let's get your first love to write the script. So they're like, hey, he was kind of on good terms with her anyway beforehand. Yeah. So it's not a reason for them to not be on good terms now, supposedly. Mm-hmm. But it's like, hey, I want you to write the script for us. She's like, maybe I'm going to need payment though. But then later on they're practicing. It's like, I don't know what the payment is, but you'll have to pay me something. But I'll do it if you whatnot. They're practicing acting before they have the full script. They're like, I think they're just reading off the Wizard of Oz lines or something. But
so they don't have the lines yet?
No, they don't have it. But they're just he's getting back into practice.
Yeah, okay.
And then he has a panic attack on stage from acting. So it's okay, there's a reason he quit acting, and it has something to do with this panic attack he just suffered. He wakes up in the school infirmary, and the author girl is there, and she's like, okay, hey, I've got part of the script written. I'll let you read part of it, but before you can get the rest of it, I'm demanding my payment now. It's like, okay, well, I don't really have a lot of money. I couldn't think of anything to pay you with. She's like, you just have to answer a question. It's like, why did you quit acting? And he's like, okay, well, I quit acting because this drama I was on, it got picked up for like a spinoff or a sequel or something. Yeah. And my mom, who was an unsuccessful actor, got cast as my mom in it. Oh. And she loved acting too. So he kind of was just into acting because it made his mom proud of him. Yeah. But there was an accident on set where like the scene was like she was hit by a car. She wasn't actually hit by a car, but when she fell down, she hit her head hard enough. She died. Jesus. On set, basically. And then like he begged and pleaded for the studio to continue the show after her death. To this was her dream. But then I quit acting after that. So at this point, she's like, okay, I've got my payment. We're all good here.
Jesus Christ, what is this show?
It's kind of a shit show at times, but I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. So she's like, okay, I've got my payment. That's the reason. We get a flashback at one point. Well, at one point, the main childhood friend that we see, she sees a picture and he's like, who are you with this person? I've never met this person before. It's like, oh, that's somebody, that was like a producer's son that I played with once, and then, that was my friend. I haven't seen him in a long time because it's been, I stopped acting type of thing. Yeah. Turns out that producer's son was the author girl. She just looked like a boy when she was a kid, and he mistook her for a boy. He's like, he heard her name as Shiro instead of like her nickname, which is Shiro but spelled differently. But it's like, okay,
it's like, oh, Aaron? I thought it was Aaron. It's spelled different.
Yeah. So it was like, there was she's like, she actually like later she shows up and it's like, hey, it's me, it's your friend Shiro. He's like, Shiro? It's like, don't come closer. And then eventually it's just like, no, I mean it is me. Like she clears up the misunderstanding within the episode that we get the flashback. So it's like, okay, they're not stringing this along. This is refreshing. And she's like, this was I thought you were mad at me because I don't know, for whatever reason I thought you didn't want to hang out with me anymore. So I was bound and determined to become irresistible. Like I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna become hot. You're not gonna mistake me for a boy again. So that's revealed, and it's revealed towards the end that like she had only said that she was going out with that friend of hers because she wanted him to fall in love with her so that she could reject him and to get her revenge for him like abandoning her.
I might be back out. This might be too much for me.
But it's just like, okay, and like the jerk bag person that she was going out with was like, well, I mean, I was just backing up my friend. I wasn't like actually trying to ruin it. And it's like, and there's like things where it's like, okay, that's why you did this and this, and that's, there's more to it, but I don't want to say anymore. Okay. But it's
just give me the whole episode.
I gave you a pretty big synopsis. We probably spent more on this one than we did any of the other shows.
I mean, I'm just gonna give you like 2 sentences.
I think it's gonna be, some of the characters and the choices they make are really refreshing. Okay. But I also think it's gonna be kind of a shit show, but not quite in the same way that like Domestic Girlfriend was a dumpster fire. It's gonna be, I think, a little bit purer than that. Okay. But it's just like they make some choices and they do some things that it's just like, this is great. Okay.
So that's obviously a watch for you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you want to go to mine?
Yes, you're watching.
I watched Vivy Flourite Eyes Song. So I picked this one because think it was getting very popular on like Reddit.
Okay.
People were saying, "Hey, you should watch this. This show's great," and it was like really high on some of the rankings.
Okay.
So I watched it. Didn't really know what it was about. I went in blind. So it's basically, first of all, it's sci-fi.
Okay.
So Vivy is this android who her androids are basically made to have one objective.
Gotcha.
So her objective is, it's not exactly this, but it's kind of a synopsis, but it's to reach the heart of everyone with her music because she's a singer.
Okay.
So she's like trying to get, she works in this like almost like Disneyland type of place, I think.
Okay.
And like she's singing on this like stage that nobody ever visits, and her goal is to like get to the main stage and like, reach everybody. So we get a little bit of that, but then we get a flash forward to 100 years in the future to this just like bloodshed to where all the AIs that were made turned on the humans and they just killed everybody.
Okay.
So right before he dies, this scientist sends this computer program or something like that.
Okay.
Back to the past 100 years.
Okay.
To where Vivy. Yeah. Like he specifically sends it to Vivy because I think in this timeline she's like the most advanced android, so she's like the only one who could kind of help.
Yeah, she's the only one who could receive.
Yeah. Because they kind of make a point like all the other ones are kind of just like basic, I guess.
Yeah. They
don't have as much technology.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Some sci-fi mumbo jumbo to.
So basically, he sends this computer program back to help change the future to stop this.
Because she's got the most random access memory.
So this computer program is mainly shown up as like a teddy bear. Because again, he's like an AI, so you can kind of switch to where he's at.
Okay. It's like she sees him as like a hallucination type thing, but since it's an AI.
No, like an actual teddy bear. Like he somehow takes the.
Can other people see him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he like takes the shape of a teddy bear because like he goes inside the body of a teddy bear. I guess it has like a computer in him or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
But he's basically telling her that, hey, I need your help stopping the future. And she doesn't believe him at first. And then he starts giving him events that'll happen to prove that he's from the future. One of them's like, this bomb is going to blow up and kill this congressman, or it's like a Sibley man, but he's like a congressman.
There's going to be a model who assassinates the prime minister of Malaysia.
Yeah, stuff like that. And like, it happens, but she stops it before because she believes him, so she stops the bombing. But then the next episodes is just her just doing things to try to stop the future.
Okay.
That's basically it. There's like trying to stop an assassination. There's a plane blow up. Episode 3, they're in like a space hotel. It jumps 10 years.
Okay.
She's like, and the teddy bear disappears, and she's like, "Where were you this past 12 years?" And he's like, "Well, nothing happened. I wasn't doing anything. Nothing was happening to change the past." So
I took a trip around Europe. I found myself.
But yeah, that's basically the plot. It is very pretty. It's very well animated.
Okay.
I think it's good. There's some things with it. It's kind of off. I don't know, off-putting, but it's not quite there for me, I guess.
Okay.
But I think you would like it because it does have that sci-fi feel that I think you would like.
Yeah. I mean, the listeners probably know, most listeners probably know us, but knowing how small scale we are. But if you don't know us, I mean, I like reading sci-fi and fantasy books. I like reading fantasy books more. I like sci-fi movies probably more. But Lord of the Rings is the really only Lord of the Rings and the Princess Bride, the best fantasy movies that I've seen. Like, there's not a lot of, it's not a genre that makes a lot of really good movies, or at least not ones that I've seen. So tend towards sci-fi more with movies, tend towards fantasy more with books.
I feel like I would just want a little bit more from like the character, but it's kind of hard because he's an android, so he doesn't really have a whole lot of emotions. But I mean, the premise I think is kind of cool. I just like the setting too. I mean, it's just that sci-fi, like trying to stop the past or trying to prevent the future type of subplot. I don't know. I think you'd like it. Okay. I think I'd watch it.
Would you recommend binging it or getting caught up now and watching it week to week?
From where I ended, I think it's a week to week.
Okay.
Because it's on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but I think it's still something you could watch like week to week.
Okay. So we're gonna have to catch up on some of these shows that we only watched the first 3 episodes of this weekend. Luckily, you're off this weekend, so we can do just that. But that's all the shows that we watched that are season 1s. Like
these are all season 1s.
Yeah, I've been watching the new season of My Hero. Yeah. I've been watching. I mean, Dragon Quest. The anime has been going on for a while, but that hasn't. It's on like episode 30 or something now. So things I'm watching, but not necessarily. New shows this season. So if there's other shows you want us to check out, if you like this format, if you wanted to do for summer, we want to do Rule of Summer, then then let us know. You can follow us at anime_territory and tweet at us. You can comment on the YouTube video or Anime Territory.
Let us know what you think of these shows if you've seen them.
Yeah. Before, I feel like we're doing an outro, but we need to talk a little bit before we do our actual outro. Because we're doing your
number
top 10 anime, your number 9 pick.
Yes. So number 10 was Samurai Champloo.
Yep.
And my number 9 is One Punch Man Season 1.
Okay. Have you seen One Punch Man Season 2?
I watched about half.
Okay.
I never finished it, though.
Yeah, it took a dip in quality.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine, but...
Just this first season was just so much... It was like my first hype anime, where it's just like, this is awesome, this is dude punching dudes. Yeah.
I mean, I could tell a One Punch Man story I have. So I had a roommate in college who was Turkish, and he kind of kept to himself. We lived in a 6-person apartment, and it was on campus. So when we couldn't fill one of the spots, we were placed with a random roommate. And we're like, okay, well, we'll give the random roommate one of the single rooms as opposed to one of the double rooms, so they can have their privacy and whatnot. So it's just this handsome Turkish dude. He had a lot of... he'd just show up with a girl and be like, all right, they're going to go hang out in his room. And I don't think
they did.
I don't think all of them were like that, but it's like, he was a handsome dude. And he barely talked to us. He walked in on us watching the Evil Dead, or watching Evil Dead, because somebody is bound to walk in on you during the tree rape scene of Evil Dead. And it's like, sure enough, he walked in, and he was just like, Evil Dead. And then he went to his room. He was an interesting guy, but I barely talked to him. I barely knew him when I lived with him for a school year. And then he showed up in one of my math classes in my next year of school. And we're like, hey. And then we're like study partners for that math class. We like, okay, we got to do the homework. And we get to a point, this class was tough. And the teacher was, I don't want to say bad things about him because I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's just like, he didn't understand English very well, and it felt like he didn't really like teaching. Okay. He also felt really smart, too. Gotcha. So it's like, okay.
A little too smart.
Yeah. And all the homework for the whole year was due at the end of the year. So, of course, I wasn't doing it week to week.
Oh, yeah.
So there's just a day where we were just cranking out homework assignments. And we're like, how do you do this type of problem? You do it like this and this. And then I got to a point where it's like, okay, I know my grades that I have so far. This homework is due at the end of finals week. I'm at the point where I can get a B in this class. I've done enough of them. And he's like, don't you leave me. Don't you leave me. But he recommended One Punch Man to me. And I'm like, well, I guess I gotta watch it now. It's this dude that I barely know, but I'm sort of friends with now that we're not living together. And then I'm like, at the end of it, I'm like, wow. Man, it was nice. It was nice knowing you. I guess we'll probably never see you again. He's like, yeah, I'm going to California next. So it's like, all right, it's a cool dude. I might still be friends with him on Facebook. I don't actually know, but it's just like, okay, One Punch Man. He recommended One Punch Man, and his room always smelled like weed. So, that's something. Yeah. I think at one point he's like, man, the colors, man, it just get to me. The colors. Like, all right. I'm like, all right, man. I think
I know why he likes it.
Which I was like, I'm going to watch this eventually. I just hadn't gotten around to it type of thing. And then it's like, sure enough, hype as hell.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I know it's your pick. We're going to talk about it.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot to talk about. It's just One Punch Man just fighting people with one punch. It's just like great because it's just these powerful villains.
You're just thinking like, all right, this is finally the one. This is the one that's going to take more than one punch. Nope. This is sort of towards the end.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, let me do a serious punch. Okay.
You just like get these villains where it's just like nobody can defeat them, and then he just walks in and he's just like, oh, I guess I'll try.
Yeah.
Boom, they're dead. It's like, all right, I don't know why that was so great, but it was because this dude's amazing.
The parts that get to me are like the parts where he's like, I think my favorite part is he hasn't punched this one guy yet, and he's just been tossing him around and thrashing him all about this place. He's like, I'm gonna beat you in the next week. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be done until Saturday. He's like, he says he's gonna beat me for a full week. It'll be done on Saturday. That means today is Saturday. That means the sale ends in 2 hours. I gotta get going.
Just one punches him.
It's like, all right, there we go. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Again, it was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
But I just think it's great.
So One Punch Man, watch that. Let's recap the shows here. Watch we'll do week to week binge, queue, or drop.
Yeah. So Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro.
That's going to be a week to week for me.
That's a week to week. All right. Farewell, My Dear Cramer. That is a queue.
That's a queue. Yep.
Mm-hmm. 86. That is a, I guess, queue. Watch when it all comes out.
Yes, that's a binge.
Yeah.
So we'll queue it for now, but then we'll binge it when it all comes out.
I feel like queue is a little different than binge.
Yeah. I mean, we are queuing it, but
yeah.
we're going to try to binge it.
Queuing is like, I don't have to watch it immediately.
I don't have to watch it.
Like,
maybe I'll pick it up 5 months from now or something.
No, 86 is like, this is good. I'm just going to wait till it's all out, though, and then watch it.
Yep. Dragon Goes Househunting. That's a drop.
That is a major drop. It's toilet drop. Flush it.
Flush it down. Yep.
Kill it.
The Odd Taxi. That's a week to week.
That's a week to week. Watch.
Yep. Burning Kabaddi. That's a week to week.
Week to week to watch. Yep. Watch it again after it's done.
Osamake is going to be a week to week for me.
Okay.
We'll see how you feel after you watch the first 3 episodes.
And then Flourite Song. I told you it'd be a week to week, but me personally, I might do a binge.
Okay. Well, I'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
At the end of the 3 episodes.
It's one of those. I could watch it week to week if you want to, but
yeah, and it's like,
I feel like I could kind of just...
you get home from one of your, because sometimes you work mornings, sometimes you work nights. And it's like, okay, you get home at 10 o'clock. There's a new one of these out. Do you want to watch it? Like, all right, it's either that or random YouTube videos until you go to bed. So, that's our recommendations.
Yep.
Let us know. Again, you can tweet at us at anime_territory on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on YouTube. We put all the episodes up there. I mean, they're technically YouTube videos, but it's just the picture that we have with the sound behind it. Maybe we'll get production value at some point, but as of right now,
nah.
If you want to see us do this again, let us know. If you don't want to see us do this again,
I had fun.
Yeah, I like this one. I feel like we had more to talk about, and we didn't just drag on. Like, I don't necessarily like when we just
dare
recap
you say
it.
dragon.
I normally love dragons, but this one is just like, man, this dragon sucks. I think that's in my notes. This dragon sucks.
This is by far the worst dragon in the
I've ever
history
met.
of dragons
Of all time. So, yeah, let us know. We'd be happy to hear from you. Share it with your friends and family. If you think they'd be into it. I know my mom was talking to like a coworker of hers who said that his son liked anime, and she's like, "Oh, my son just started an anime podcast. Show him this." So if you're listening, my mom knows your dad, but I don't know what your dad's name even is. But it's we're happy to have you if you're here, and if you quit after the first episode, well, shame on you. Come back.
We get better, kind of.
I'd say we get better. We dipped.
We dipped
in one episode, I would say.
Yeah.
But then I think we came back up to where we were at, if not better. I think this. Maybe I shouldn't say this. This is one of our better episodes.
Here, I'll cover the mics so they don't hear us.
Yeah, this is one of our better episodes.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
So until we find a send-off, you have a great night.
Yep, see ya.
Then he got his shoelaces stuck on his face.
I said no!
Quick editor's note, we didn't say what anime we're covering in the next episode, so I'll just say it now. We're going to be watching Bakano. See you then.